You guys see that iconic glass dome right there at the Plaza Hotel? That's Oscar's Steakhouse, and that's where we're taking you next to eat dinner. It's an iconic landmark here in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. It was featured in the movie Casino, and it's named after one of the most famous, if not the most famous mayor of Las Vegas, Oscar Goodman, who used to be a mob boss lawyer. Let's go check out their steaks. We've heard nothing but great things about it. And can you get any more iconic than this overlook over Fremont Street inside a glass dome? I don't know. Let's go check out Oscar's. Okay, we made it to Oscar's Steakhouse. You can see the sign right behind me. And the silhouette of this man right here is Oscar Goodman, the former mayor of Las Vegas. You may have seen him in the Martin Scorsese movie Casino, where he played himself. He's an icon of Las Vegas. One awesome thing that they do here at Oscar's is they have like an evening with Oscar Goodman that you can purchase, where it's dinner and he comes and kind of talks to you and gives you all the cool history and tells you stories about the mob days. It's a really cool experience. Look it up. I think they do it maybe like once a month or here and there. Not sure the schedule. Check the website. But Oscar's, we're so excited to eat here. Oscar Goodman's a legend. Before we get inside and check out Oscar's Steakhouse, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe. It really helps our channel grow. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers and we're so close. Now, let's get inside. The menu is really unique too because you'll see on the menu, a lot of the dishes pay homage to people that he was defending or some famous mobsters in Las Vegas's history. So we're hungry. We haven't eaten since this morning. And we played pickleball today, so we worked up an appetite. We're ready for some steaks. Let's get into Oscar's.
We do want to take a moment and acknowledge that the Plaza has been kind enough to give us a dining credit to help show you more food. So we are thankful for that. We just wanted to make sure there's full transparency on our channel. But the opinions are our own, and we'll be covering the difference of the cost.
All right, the atmosphere inside the dining room is so lively. Everyone's chatting it up. This is one of the most unique dining rooms I've ever been in personally. You're eating in a glass dome overlooking Fremont Street. Like Abed said, we have maybe one of the more prime tables. It's a little bit elevated off the ground. It overlooks Fremont Street straight on, so we have such a great view. And yeah, this is so cool. A lot of history here. We're excited. We were able to order a lot of food to try for you and review, and we're hungry, so hopefully the food comes out soon. All right, so random recess pro tip, make a reservation for Oscar's after the sun goes down. Why do you ask? Well, you're sitting under the dome, so you can see all of the glitz and glamour of Fremont Street, all of the shimmering neon lights, and the Fremont Street Experience show Viva Vision on the giant LED screen, the canopy. You can see it playing as you sit and enjoy your meal. You gotta come at night and just enjoy all the neon. This is such a cool experience and really adds on to the ambiance here. All right, so bread service has hit the table. And if you've been watching us for any amount of time, you know Random Recess loves a bread service. These rolls look amazing. They look buttery, they're glistening in the light. There's a big giant pat of butter here as well, so you can get more butter. It looks like some pull-apart rolls, so let's pull them apart. Ooh, and super light. The inside is super fluffy. Let's dig into this butter here. All right. Oh yeah. All right. The butter is salted a bit, so it adds that nice little salty kick to the bread. This just tastes like good homemade bread. If you've ever had fresh bread out of like a bread maker or you baked it fresh at home, this is what it reminds me of. Crispy on the outside, soft and fluffy on the inside. Really, really good. Nothing too extravagant about the flavors in here. Just tastes like really fresh, really good bread. So for my cocktail, I got the His Honor, which is the preferred drink of Oscar Goodman, so I had to get it. On the menu, it states the ingredients are this: Bombay Sapphire Gin, more Bombay Sapphire Gin, and a sliver of jalapeno. So that's correct. This whole glass is just gin with a jalapeno slice. Yep, that's gin. I'm gonna take it easy on that. That's gonna be a sipper for sure, or else I may not make it through dinner. But it's really smooth, ice cold. You get a little bit of a hint of a kick from the jalapeno, very faint. That's delicious.
So y'all know that I'm a martini boy, and I decided to get the coconut espresso martini. I've never had coconut with any sort of espresso martini before. It's very complimentary. I thought maybe chocolate would be in it, but it's not. And I gotta say, well, first let me try it. The coconut syrup in here, the coconut flavor is really subtle. Like it's not over the top. It's just a hint of coconut, which is really nice because to be honest, espresso is a really strong flavor. Coconut is also a really strong flavor. You don't want to end up drinking like sunblock. You know what I mean? This is a 5 out of 5. It is really good. I never would have thought put coconut with your espresso martini, but now I'm gonna want it every time I have one. Cheers. All right, for an appetizer, I got No Nose's meatballs. Now, No Nose was, I guess, a famous mobster. I don't know my history, so correct us down below in the comments. And I guess one of, is it Oscar Goodman's clients? I don't know. One of Oscar Goodman's clients. So they come 2 per order, and just like in real life, one is larger than the other and slightly misshapen. You got to get the perfect bite, all right? A little bit of the ricotta. Oh wow, that smells so good. And we want to thank our friends James and Paul Try It All. Y'all go subscribe to their YouTube channel. They create great content. They told us y'all can't miss this, and we watched their review before coming here. And so far, just aesthetically and from the slice, they haven't led us astray. But let's see if it tastes just as good. James and Paul, y'all were right. This is fabulous. Whatever binder they're using in here, the meat combinations, this is probably the most tender and juicy and flavorful meatball I've had in a very long time. I don't eat meatballs that often, so I'm not going to tell you it's the best in the world. I don't have that kind of knowledge. I'm not a meatball encyclopedia, but these are top tier for sure. I can't remember a meatball that has tasted this good in a very long time. 5 out of 5.
All right, let's try it. That's high praise from a bed. And yeah, James and Paul definitely recommended this to us, so we had to get the meatballs. And again, shout out to them. Go subscribe to their channel. They're awesome creators. Make great Las Vegas content. But anyway, back to the meatballs, and then give them a 5 out of 5. We'll see about that. Oh, wow. So tender. You know, upon cutting into it, I almost kind of thought these aren't going to be as tender, but I was fooled. Those meatballs, you could like push them to the roof of your mouth, and they fall apart. That is so good. The meat flavor comes through, delicious. The sauce, that sauce, there's like a pesto sauce on the meatball. Oh my gosh. Really, really good. Really complements the taste of the meatball. And that fresh ricotta. The fresh ricotta just is the chef's kiss on a great appetizer dish. Do not miss the meatballs when you come to Oscar's. I have to agree, 5 out of 5. Those are awesome. Wow. We got the jumbo shrimp cocktail, and jumbo is right. This is my thumb. That's the shrimp. This is humongous. Delicious. They're chilled. Comes in a spicy cocktail sauce. I'm a sucker for a good shrimp cocktail. And did you even eat at a steakhouse if you didn't get the shrimp cocktail? Let's try it. I gotta give it a 4 out of 5. I'm only taking off a point because it just tastes kind of basic. There's nothing like extravagant about the flavor of the shrimp cocktail. I was expecting the spicy cocktail sauce to come through a little bit more, but it doesn't. That being said, you can tell that the shrimp is fresh. It's humongous. So 4 out of 5. It's pretty above average shrimp cocktail, and I'm giving it extra points specifically for the size of the shrimp.
So another thing to note about Oscar's is that they do have an outdoor patio that overlooks Fremont Street. So when you make your reservation, you can sit outside. It's just really too cold for us right now. Plus, we want it to be under the dome. I mean, what's more iconic than eating at Oscar's Steakhouse in the dome? Am I right?
All right, so when we rate restaurants, we kind of like to use this scale that, you know, a restaurant is a sum of its parts. You have the food, obviously the most important part. You have the service, and then you have the ambiance. And the steakhouse is no different. So when we judge steakhouses, number one, first and foremost, is the steak good? That's what you're here for. You go to a steakhouse for the steak. So are the steaks good? And then you can judge the sides and all of the other things on their own. After that, is the service good? Steakhouses are known to have some of the best service ever. So steakhouses are known for their service, so you got to make sure that the service is on point. And then, how's the ambiance? Is it a good vibe? That's also really important. So That's what we're gonna walk you through here at Oscar's, starting with the steak, which I think is coming pretty soon. All right, our steaks have hit the table along with all of the other accoutrements, and they look fabulous. So I got the 9-ounce rib cap. If you're not familiar with what a rib cap is, it's the cap of the ribeye, and it's not offered at every steakhouse. So it's really neat that Oscar's offers a rib cap. I got mine cooked medium per the recommendation of our server. Normally I get my steaks medium rare, but our server recommended you get the rib cap medium, so that's what I did. Love the presentation. It's really simple. Comes with some shishito peppers on the side, and it looks fabulous. I'm ready to dive in. That's a really good rib cap. Super tender, really meaty. It's seasoned really simply, I think, with just salt and pepper. So I will say, it's not a ton of flavor. It's good flavor from the meat. It tastes like meat. So I like the simplicity of it. And the meat's cooked perfectly. So I think I would have just liked maybe a little bit more seasoning on the meat. But other than that, very, very solid cut.
All right, so I ordered the filet mignon, also known as filet mignon for those out there in the industry. But anyway, I got mine medium rare. Oh, that is like butter. Oh, that's like butter. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm gonna say this. I'm not a filet person. Ever since my surgery, I tend to go with filet because I just can't eat as much. And I used to be a ribeye guy. The biggest ribeye you can find, that was my meal at a steakhouse. But times have changed. I'm now a filet boy. I gotta say, the last filet that I had that was this tender was at Shula's at Walt Disney World. I think at the Dolphin Resort. Slicing into this, you could probably slice with your fork. Like, it was like butter. But will it taste good? I'm not sure if this has been dry aged or aged at all. So I'm not getting like a really strong deep flavor. It is so tender and juicy. Chris, I think you're gonna really like it. So I'm gonna put a piece on your plate.
Wow, that did cut super easy. Very tender. Perfectly cooked. Yeah, I think I like that better than my rib cap actually. Which I never thought I would say. But that is a great fillet. I agree. So tender, perfectly cooked, seasoned really simply. It's not dry aged or anything like that, but I think just based on the tenderness of that cut, 5 out of 5 for sure. That's really good. That being said, we were a little bit nitpicky. Don't be fooled. Both cuts are fabulous. Very, very tasty.
It's interesting how accurate everything is. The meatballs, one was larger than the other, and when it comes to the crab legs, it kind of leans to the left. But let's see how this king crab tastes, shall we? Now, I'm a crab boy. You gotta dunk it in the butter, am I right? I don't even need to say it. Put it on the screen. This is so good. It is so fresh, perfectly cooked, super tender. The butter, honestly, probably do without. That's how good this crab leg is. I love crab. Crab legs. I'm loving this. It is sweet. The meat is, again, perfectly cooked. Wow. What a great accompaniment to the steak. You can afford it. I know there's only 2 crab legs per order, and it's an accompaniment, right? It's like an add-on. Do it. If you love crab legs, you're gonna love this.
All right, we don't often get Alaskan king crab. I don't think we've ever gotten it at a steakhouse, just because it's so expensive. So, like Abed said, thank you to the Plaza for allowing us to be able to treat ourselves. But yeah, if you have the money, if you are well-to-do, or if you did really well in the casino, treat yourself and get the crab. Let's see how it tastes. Kind of don't get in the butter. That is the best crab I've ever had in my life. It doesn't even need the butter. So sweet, so tender, perfectly cooked. 5 out of 5. That is phenomenal. That is so good. Alaskan king crab for the win. Way to go. All right, so one of the sides that we got were the glazed mushrooms. Ben and I love sauteed mushrooms as a side to steaks. It just adds that umami kick that sometimes you want with a steak. So, always love to pair this with a steak. Let's try the shrooms. Tastes like maybe there's like a red wine reduction or something that they've been sauteed in. Really savory, perfectly cooked, really tender. Those are excellent and really umami. You get that nice savoriness on your tongue that just makes you want to eat more mushrooms. Those are excellent. I gotta give the mushrooms a 5 out of 5. You know, oftentimes the sides get forgotten. These are, don't miss the mushrooms. They're excellent. And for dessert, Yvette and I opted for the lighter option of creme brulee. Yvette and I are suckers for a good creme brulee. And this one has a nice caramelized sugar top that we already crunched through. Got some berries as well. That's perfect. 5 out of 5, no notes. The brulee top is absolute perfection. It's crackly, super sweet, a little bit of that burnt sugar taste, which I love. And then, of course, the creme under the brulee. Super rich, not too dense, absolutely fabulous. 5 out of 5 dessert. Love the addition of the fresh berries. It's healthy then. It's got fruit. But, like I said, we're suckers for a good creme brulee. Oscar's has a good creme brulee. So here at Oscar's, they have a lovely outdoor seating area, a great patio space. It's a little cold out here, so no one's sitting out here right now. But on those warmer or cooler nights, I bet this would be fabulous. Sitting outside in the fresh air, overlooking Fremont Street. You get to people watch, enjoy all the action, and be outside. It's gorgeous out here. Really, really, really unique space, overlooking Fremont Street at a great steakhouse. So for me, I think Oscar's is definitely a place I would come again. Like I said, in the restaurant, we like to judge a steakhouse on 3 criteria. The food, obviously the steaks being first and foremost, the ambiance, and the service. And I think Oscar's really excelled at 2 out of the 3. The service and the ambiance are absolutely incredible. Our server was next level great. He explained every single thing on the menu, answered all of our questions, gave his recommendations. And I have to say, the timing of the meal was great. We never went without drink refills, water, alcohol, anything that we needed. And again, the meal was paced out perfectly. The minute we finished one entree or one part of the meal, like our appetizers, we waited a little bit, let our food settle, and then the next part of the meal came out. So great timing, great service, the ambiance. What can I say about the ambiance? The amount of history, the amount of Las Vegas history that's intertwined here at Oscar's is so interesting. If you're like really into mob history or like, you know, that part of Las Vegas's history, you're gonna love Oscar's Steakhouse. Oscar Goodman is a Las Vegas staple. He's an icon, and there's so much of him interwoven into this restaurant. Everywhere you look, there's something historical or really cool to see and check out. The ambiance is great. You're eating inside a glass dome overlooking Fremont Street. Where else are you gonna be able to do that in Las Vegas but at Oscar's? As far as the food is concerned, everything was really good. So don't get me wrong, the food was great, but I don't think it really was elevated above any other Las Vegas steakhouse that I've eaten at. That being said, the steaks were delicious, the sides were great, the dessert was fabulous. So the food was good, but if you go to the Strip and you eat at SW Steakhouse, or if you eat at Carver Steak, or you eat at Delmonico, you're gonna get a meal of equal or greater quality. I think where Oscar shines with the food is the value. So Yvette's filet mignon, my rib cap were both about $60. You're not gonna get those cuts for $60 on the Strip. You're gonna pay $90, maybe over $100 for a really good cut. Here at Oscar's, you get a great value, and the level of food is probably equal, if not just a little bit below, those really, really high-end Strip steakhouses. So I think for me, overall, Oscar's is a can't-miss steakhouse here in Las Vegas for those reasons. And like I said, I definitely come here again.
All right, y'all. Chris and I have been to Las Vegas now well over 50 times over the last 20 years. We love coming here, but the city has changed. Even when we came here, it was already changing, becoming more corporate. And over the last 10 years or so, it's just gotten, to be honest, worse. We still love coming out here, but the charm, the service, especially on the Las Vegas Strip, is starting to disappear. When it comes to the level of service, Chris is so right. This reminds me of the way things were even 20 years ago when Chris and I started coming out here. The service was phenomenal. Not to say that we haven't had great service in Las Vegas since then. We certainly have. But there was something so old school about it, where they really were just taking care of you from the beginning. And I really appreciated that. I agree with Chris on the assessment, but where this shines and why we will be back is that level of service in the detail. Everything was paced out perfectly, and we didn't prompt them at all. Like when we do our reviews, we don't say, hey, because we're filming, can you pace things out? Because we want to see how the kitchen normally operates. And it was just chef's kiss, y'all. All right, that's going to do it for this random recess restaurant review of Oscar's Steakhouse here at the Plaza. If you love Las Vegas, if you love restaurant and resort reviews or travel content in general, hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 10,000. We're a baby channel and we need the help, right? Anyway, we want to thank you for making it this far. If y'all want extra content, consider joining our YouTube memberships. You get early ad-free access to our videos, plus updates from us, and we're cute, right? Come on. We want to thank you. We want to thank the Plaza and Oscars for their hospitality. This town is built on that, and this place has been phenomenal. And we want to thank our current YouTube members. Thank you so much. And as always, make sure to live your life one recess at a time. Bye, y'all.